Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Tri-F Podcast, where we try not to mess the podcast up. And how are you today, Cody?
Oh, I'm doing all right, buddy. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm looking here at our Rumble, and it ain't screwing up. So,
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. Okay. Let me pull up the Bible Gateway here and get us on the share screen. And yeah, let me actually, before I start reading, let me actually check our stats here on Google. Make sure the Google stream is up. Because I checked Rumble, but I didn't check Google. So, yep, it says we're up. So, okay, great. With that being said, do you want me to read or shall I? Or do you want to read or shall I read?
Oh, I'm good with whatever, buddy. I got it pulled up here.
All right, sweet. Okay, let me just start, and then you can tell me when you've got a thought, and I'll just stop. So, all right. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, and silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel. That's interesting. Unto the place where his tent... unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar which he had make there at the first, and there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abraham, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and between the herdmen of Lot's cattle. I got turned around there.
This town ain't big enough for the two of us, you hear?
Right, pretty much. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife.
What's a Perizzite?
A Perizzite? I don't know. I'm assuming it's a people group that no longer exists.
I wonder if they suck.
Yeah, right. Deserve a medal for that. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, where were we at? I lost my place.
And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen. For we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. Zoar? Is it Zoar? Gabby?
Zoar. You're right. Zoar.
Cool. Go for it.
All right. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, Lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent, and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, I don't know, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. So, after Lot takes all the nice land, I suppose God comforted him by saying, I'm going to give you everything. So, it seems to be the idea. So, there is that. We are moving on to Genesis 14. Do we have any thoughts on 13?
I don't think so. Are Abram and Lot brothers?
They're relatives. I think Lot was his nephew. We think we saw that in 12. Hang on a minute. So yeah, 12 is when he's first called. And
is this the same Lot that banged his daughters?
yes. Yes, that is correct. So
That guy's crazy, man.
they got him good and drunk.
I guess so.
Dadgummit, I can't see it. I'm like 90% sure he's like the nephew, but I can't see it off the top of my head.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to distract you like that, man.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, you're good to start on 14. I don't have my glasses, so I'm reading kind of slow.
Well, that's the good news is we got Google. I'll just Google it instead of trying to strain my eyes because I'm probably going to have to read the whole chapter to find it. So let's just jump to Google really quick. Was Lot Abraham's nephew? Yes.
Hey,
Okay.
nephew.
All right, AI. We'll trust you for expediency's sake. So yes, Lot was Abraham's nephew. Okay. Chapter 14. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, and Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Beersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, and Shemimber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the salt sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, blah. And in the 13th year they rebelled, and in the 14th year came Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him, and smote Rephaims in Ashtaroth, Carnium, and the Zuzims of Ham, and the Imins of Shaveh, Kirathaim, and the Horites in the Mount Seir, and Elpharan, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to En Misfat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hazezon Tamar. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, the same is Zoar, and they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim. And Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and the Tidal kings of nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings with 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountains. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their victuals, and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, and of Mamre.
They stole Lot?
Yeah, they stole.
Kidnapped Lot?
Yeah, they kidnapped Lot. So he was part of the spoils of war. He was in the battle. So he dwelt in the plain of.
And these were all the perverts.
No, Sodom. Lot was fighting for Sodom and Gomorrah. And then Sodom and Gomorrah lost, and the other kings kidnapped Lot.
So Lot was a pervert.
No, he was like the only one that wasn't. That's like the whole, yeah. So, anyway, so he was with Sodom and Gomorrah. He got kidnapped when they lost the battle. And where am I at? I was trying to figure out that M word. Mamre, the Amorite brother of Eshcol and brother of Honor, or Aner, and these were confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318 years, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dale. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand. And he gave him titles of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up mine hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread, even a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich. Save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. And that's 14. So that is your introduction to Melchizedek. Very brief. Melchizedek, king of Salem, which I guess Salem also means peace. And he was a priest of the Most High God, which is interesting. And he blesses Abram. And after this interaction, the next chapter is quite important. We're 14 minutes in. So you got any thoughts, questions? That was a tongue twister, man. I didn't remember all those names.
Melchizedek is the one in charge of how things work in heaven right now, right?
It's debatable. Like, there's like ideas that Melchizedek was like an actual person that Abram met. Some people think he's like a manifestation of Christ. What you're referring to is when in Hebrews Christ is referred to as the priest after the order of Melchizedek, forever offering sacrifices, like a final sacrifice through his death on the cross. So the idea being, the reason that Melchizedek is used is because it's connecting to chapter 15. So because there's like an official covenant, because God has already alluded to this stuff like twice already. Like, I'm going to give you the land, go to the land I will show you, and your children will live here, So he's already alluded to it a couple times. But the chosen people covenant is actually in the next chapter here.
So, do you think Melchizedek is...
That makes sense. So would Melchizedek be the bloodline of David before it was established?
I don't know who he is, to tell you the truth. To my way of thinking, Melchizedek, or Paul, assuming he wrote Hebrews, is just using Melchizedek as kind of like a way to link what kind of covenant Christ's covenant is. Does that make sense? Because Melchizedek is like this religious figure that blesses Abraham, and then the covenant happens immediately in the next chapter. So, because the whole context of Hebrews is Christ's covenant versus the Levitical covenant. And so what Paul is essentially saying is Christ's covenant is more like the Abrahamic covenant, and therefore it is superior to the Levitical covenant. So I think he's just using the name to link the concepts, but I don't know. You know. So bet. But hey, it could have been Melchizedek could have been a manifestation of Christ. Who am I to say? I don't know. So anyway, you ready to move on, or got any other thoughts? Okay.
15.
15. All right. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus. And Abram said, Eliezer, thank you. Yes, Eliezer of Damascus. And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad, and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going up, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I was just imagining this, like playing this out. He was cutting animals in half and laying them out on a platter.
Yeah. Well, this is actually, according to scholars, I guess, this was a type of it's like a government, it's not, how do I explain this? It's an agreement. It was a way that they used to like make contracts. So they would cut the animals in half. Then the person and the two people that were making the deal would walk through the middle of the carcasses together. And then they go, if I break my oath, may I be like one of these carcasses. So this was supposedly a tradition that they did. And the significance of this as we go on is Abram falls asleep and God walks through the carcasses himself saying, I'm going to keep the deal. This is my covenant with you, and it's my responsibility to keep it, is the way I was taught this is supposed to work. So,
all right. Well, to me, it looks like a pagan ritual.
Well, it's only pagan if you're worshiping the wrong god. So,
I mean, there's blood everywhere.
Well, yes, an animal sacrifice is bloody.
It's pretty weird, bro. Just saying.
Well, there's a concept where it's like, this is the way I look at it. You're talking about people that come out of like human sacrifice and really messed up stuff from back in the day. And God is essentially revealing himself to people who are very primitive and pagan by taking some of the horrible stuff that they did and associating it with concepts he's wanting to teach them.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah, so I think that, yeah, I don't remember who taught that to me, but that's kind of the way I look at it. So
that was well said.
Thank you, sir. So where was I at? He drove them away. I'm looking. Okay, here we go. So we're on verse 13. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the 4th generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. The Kenites and the Kenizzites and the Kadamites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Rephaims and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgashites and the Jebusites. So he makes the covenant at the end of the chapter, and that is the unconditional covenant. Yeah. So there you go.
Nito
torpedo. All right. We're moving on to chapter 16. Shall we continue? Or do you have any final thoughts on that chapter?
No, I just no, nothing's been different in this book so far.
Oh, sweet.
This is a 1912 book, big old Bible.
You should show everybody, big old Bible right there. That's encouraging, because I'm always like, yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, every word's been the same.
Sweet. I'm always scared they're like going to change stuff, so that's nice.
Yeah, I've found several that they're very different, like wildly.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Like just different translations, or they all say like King James, but they're different like King James.
Some of the Gospels they kind of like, I don't know. They make it sound. They put different inflections on it and make it sound like it's something it's not.
I think I know what you mean. Can you give me an example just in case? No? Okay. But I think I know what you're saying. Like they change words around to kind of like de-emphasize things.
Yeah, it's like how a translator or a transcriber will say, this is what this set of words means because of this.
Ah, gotcha.
Right, and they like say it like that, and it's like, well, it could mean this because of this.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no. And it's like, it's kind of like how if you read like what's a terrible translation, like a New Living translation or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that one's bad. I've heard.
So it's like they tell you what it means, but it's like it doesn't mean that.
Yeah, like they paraphrase it, but it's not a good way of saying it. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. So there is a lot of that in a lot of Bibles, but
yeah.
As far as King James, it's been pretty consistent.
Well, that's good. I want to give oh gosh, I don't know if I can find it, but you've got me on a train of thought. Okay, so Jeremiah Cook says, like how the NIV deliberately downplays the term tradition. Yeah, like that, Jeremiah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, hang on a minute. Now I'm all stuck on this train of thought. Greg was showing me one that I don't know if I can find it quickly, though. But just to kind of tee it up, it's the Last Supper, and it's the remark about the sword. And one translation makes it sound like Christ is being a pacifist when that's not what he's saying in the King James, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember the chapter. What chapter is the Last Supper?
I feel like a lot of Christ's words are easy to do that with, because I feel like he's being snarky in a lot of what he's saying.
Oh, I know. He's very witty, and I don't think that's ever appreciated. So,
right. Yeah.
Oh man. I know I'm close. So if you'll bear with me here. I'm sorry, guys, but I really want to find this to kind of show what I'm talking about. This generation passed away, so... Okay, which is the Passover. Well, that went too far. Drew nigh. Now the feast of the drew nigh, which is called very. I hope it's not. I hope I'm not wrong by saying it's Luke. I'm almost certain it's Luke.
Luke is, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it was in Luke.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of that kind of stuff about Luke.
Yeah, because it's a little more detailed. Okay.
That's why I like Mark, man. I listen to Mark like on audio like once a month. It's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like my gravy, man. Because it's just like it's. I feel like it's like the most raw gospel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know.
It's interesting. I know a lot of people have a hard time with it. All right, I'm getting there. Hang on. Here we go. And they say, "Lord, behold, here are 2 swords." And he said unto them, "It is enough." And he came out and went. Yeah. Okay. So it's 20:38. It's Luke 22:38 is the one I was thinking of. So in the King, I've got this in the King James. Oh, I remember what they did. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Guys, I'm really sorry, but this is just super important to what I'm talking about here. So I want to make sure I get this right. I don't want to sound like I'm just bloviating. So it's Luke 22:38. Come on. Well, I need 2 different versions. I've got the King James and then the NIV, so I'm trying to compare the 2 translations. Yeah. Oh, this made me mad when I caught it because it's the way that they change stuff. It's just like these subtle changes in wordings that create vastly different impressions. Come on, where's it at? NIV, give me the NIV. NIV. Here we go. NIV. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me read this. This is exactly why these modern these modern translations suck. This is a perfect example of why modern translations suck. So, okay. Let me just start up here at 33. And he said unto them, Lord, I am ready to go with thee, both into prison and to death. And he said, I tell thee, Peter, the cock shall not crow this day before thou shalt thrice deny that thou knowest me. And he said unto them, when I sent you without purse and script and shoes, lacked ye anything? And they said nothing. Then he said unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and let likewise his scrip, and he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. And for I say unto you that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me. And he was reckoned among the transgressors, for the things concerning me have an end. And they said, Lord, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, it is enough. Now, what does that sound like? We've got 2 swords. Okay, we're ready, right? Mm-hmm. That's what that sounds like. This is what the NIV does. So when you get to 38, we'll just read the passage. The disciples said, see, Lord, here are 2 swords. And they go, that's enough! Exclamation point, he replied. Like he's rebuking them for the swords.
Yeah.
Isn't that not the sleaziest crap you ever saw?
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, these people.
Yeah, they're trying to make him look like a woman.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they did. It's like, are you kidding me? Yeah, this is why modern translations suck. So anyway,
Wow.
is that not
That's
insane?
crazy.
Yeah, that's
That
just ugh. Feel
Well
my
worth the wait.
blood pressure going up just recalling that. So, all right. Well, I'm sorry for that diatribe, guys. Next week, we will kick up on chapter 16. So, with all that being said, we are going to move on to the next portion of this. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you so much for watching. If you're on the live stream, stay with us. And for those of you that are watching this later, we'll see you next time on the part 2.
Later.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.